come here to fuck spiders. Alright. Was buying lunch today. Went down to the little Thai place and I felt real bad because I got this dish, just rice and, you know, you can pick two out of the hot plates there. And I went, yeah, I'll get this one. And I said, hey, mate, what do you reckon? I had two options left. I was like, what do you reckon, satay or red curry? And he went, I'm allergic to both. So
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, no.
And he works in the joint.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, really? Like, that's weird. But I was thinking about buying food, and I was out with Joel after the gym recently. I think it was with you. And this gentleman was buying food, and he was of the larger persuasion. And I always love it when... I not always love it, but it's a weird thing to enjoy, but watching morbidly obese people buy food. Because I love when they usually... Not usually, but... Well, no. Sorry. Usually.
I know exactly where you're going
Get
with this.
like... Okay, so weight's a simple thing, right? Calories in versus calories out. And you will lose weight if you consume less calories than your body burns. Sitting here, we're all burning calories. If you're a morbidly obese person and I see them day in, day fucking out buying their little salads and shit, it's got to be coming in from somewhere, doesn't it? It's got to be coming in. We just dropped the volume on me. Sorry, I was a bit loud.
Oh, it's definitely coming in somewhere.
Are they ordering for a minivan full of people, or are they ordering for themselves?
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing.
I'll have the 6-person salad. That's what's going on there.
That's it, but right when they get their salads, and I go, "Who are you lying to? Like you got a mirror. You fucking know. Like the snacks at your house must be redonkulous if this is what you're eating at lunch."
No,
How
actually
much
like
dressing?
salad. They like the dressing.
Yeah, that's it. How much dressing are you putting on your salad? Because, my God.
Sauces fuck you, but you can't have enough dressing to fuck you. Although Joel, you pretty much did with Nando's, did you not? Nando's sauce.
Yeah. Well, it was only a little dab, but it just went straight through me.
It always
It's actually
does.
quite impressive, honestly. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it should be like nuclear reactors. That shit was fuel.
A little bit of housekeeping. A friend of ours, Jane, I don't know why, I don't know what she's done to deserve it, but she asked for a shout out, and I went, well,
We've just given it one.
since you're one of the 7 listeners,
I thought you meant just
shout out. Josh, have you got a topic?
Alrighty, guys. It's a pretty big craze at the moment. Area 51.
Yeah, actually, someone said we should
Someone
talk
who said
about
that?
this.
I don't know, but either way,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
I love it.
I reckon it's a classic.
Fucking hilarious. And I really want, like, just not hundreds of thousands of people, but like millions of depressed kids to just fucking rock up.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's so crazy that it just might work.
It is, but I also think it's one of those things that I think it's just another one of those things where it's like it's not actually going to happen. Like I would have group. I've said I'm going to swim from Sydney Harbour on Facebook. Swim from Sydney Harbour to Area 51. Like I think it's just one of those things that won't happen, and it bugs me that I've seen little things around that have gone, 1.5 million people will sign up to storm Area 51. Why can't we get 1.5 million people to clean the oceans? It's like,
Yeah, that's...
and I'll tell you what the answer is. We know the oceans are dirty. We don't know what's in Area 51.
That's old news. People want to know the truth.
Yeah. I don't know, like,
The cure to the Barrier Reef is at Area 51.
I wonder what started the craze, right? Like, it was the sort of... It came out about Area 51 maybe... I say maybe very loosely, having sort of extraterrestrial stuff in there in, like, the late 80s. I think it was 89 that Bob Lazar came out, and I talked about Bob Lazar last podcast we just released. But, yeah, I don't know. I'd love to go. Seriously, like... You know what, Joel? You've always been saying you like to die in a mass suicide. It's as good as. Like,
Fucking the best. There was like really good meme. What I thought was the best of everyone I've read. It was like the US government knowing that nobody's going to rock up to Area 51 because they're all depressed and can't get out of bed. I'm just picturing like a mad cinematic like Naruto fight scene. Like they all storm and like the big cloud of dust is behind them, and they're just like up in their watchtowers with binoculars going, "What the fuck, Chief?" And they've got like Kyles in their fucking trucks coming up.
I picture it like the Braveheart scene. They could take our lives.
Let's find out what the fuck is in the door.
I love seeing all like the actual drawn out like battle plans. You know, there's like there's a map of Area 51 that people have gotten off like Google Images or something, and they're saying all these different people are going to be in different spots. There's like the Kyles coming in from one angle, all the Naruto running kids coming in from another.
I don't know why rock throwers is a thing. Where'd they come from?
There's like Minecraft experts. Like, imagine if it did actually go ahead.
It wouldn't. I can't imagine it working just based on fitness. Like the fact that it's like it's out in the desert, and then you have the border, which like I haven't seen a lot of military bases, but I've seen a couple, and where the fence line is for it is so far away from the actual base. Like, let's say, like you'd have to be barging through it with pickup trucks and stuff. Actually, I see that in the battle plan. Yeah. Rednecks bash through the gate.
That's exactly the thing. Now in Australia, this sort of thing, all right, it's not going to happen. Like, people aren't like in a particular way enough to get around this sort of thing. But in America, where they've still got like white supremacist towns and that sort of thing, I can easily imagine like a bunch of rednecks just trashing like fences over with, you know, heavy machinery and tractors and whatnot, and just going ham at it. I can see it like actually happening.
Posing a question: if you're the US government and all these people do rock up, what do you do? Because you can't kill 1.5 million people. But can you? Because in the States, for trespassing, you can shoot to kill.
I'm pretty sure, it's treason to trespass, like, on military property. So, technically, based on the law, I think they could kill anyone who did.
The backlash. Oh, the backlash.
That's
Apparently,
exactly right.
How would the global community react?
Trump would be on the news like, what do you want from me? What would you have done?
Trump's next election campaign, we gotta build a wall around Area 51. I don't know. I'm with you though, Joel, in the sense that all I want is for it to go ahead. Like, I know it's just another wacky thing on the internet. It's on the same level as Shaggy superpowers or Moth or whatever, but
Shaggy's gonna make all the difference.
Yeah,
we should go at night and get all the moths there. That's what we need.
You're right. We'll sneak into Area 51. We'll turn all the light bulbs on outside so the moths come in out of nowhere, and that'll be the end of it.
We'll build a 300-foot wide door to float on the ocean, and we'll go over to Africa and pick up all the Ugandan knuckles to come across and beat the fuck.
I reckon we're going the wrong way about it. I reckon we need to get all the Mexicans, because they sneak into the US all the time.
Yeah,
How hard could it be for them to sneak into Area 51?
Yeah, you're right. Especially
same bit of fence, surely.
Yeah. Double-laced chicken wire. Fuck!
Again.
That.
Actually, it's buried like a foot underneath, so it's a bugger.
Yeah,
I've got to
scrape away with their fingers on it. Can't go through that.
All I want is for it to happen.
Oh, imagine the news stories. Some of them have been funny enough just watching people's reaction to this, the speculation. But if it actually happened, oof.
What else we got?
Well, I told my stepdad this week. So I hadn't told my stepdad up until this week about the podcast, and he thought it was real funny. When I first told him, I said, "Hey, me and my mates are thinking about doing a podcast," and he goes, "You're not fucking Joe Rogan, mate. Like,
take the foot back out of the water. It is too cold."
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, and I was like, "Mate, we've actually already got one. I wanted to brag and say it was doing well, but it's."
Hey, we've got 69 different viewers on YouTube.
I think we're up to like 280 followers on the gram.
Yeah.
At the very least, we're doing better than we thought we were, so that's a win.
100%.
No, but he suggested what we've always sort of thought all along. Just say some outrageous shit to get publicity, because that tends to work.
Any publicity is good.
Any publicity is good publicity. So what I wanted to ask is, why are some people more Down syndrome than other people? Like, some Down syndrome people more Down syndrome than other people. This wasn't his specific suggestion. I was actually thinking about this, and this isn't meant to be offensive. This is a serious question, because it's an extra chromosome. But how can...
Is it just one, though? Is the people with, like, severe Down syndrome have, like, +3?
No. So, like, an extra chromosome is down to like a cellular level. That means in every sort of cell or every I can't think. Maybe I can't remember whether it's to do with DNA or.
I think chromosomes are DNA.
Yeah. Okay. So it's down to the DNA level. So for every 2 normal ones, there's an extra, and
I thought it was like stock standard humans have something like 38 and they have 39.
Yeah, I heard that
Really?
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because that's when you call them they're actually called like a superhuman, but it's not actually meant in a.
Yeah, did the strength that they possess.
yeah, really, I was thinking it came down to like cell sort of thing.
It was bad of me to back that with the outrageous sort of thing I was going to say, because what I was actually going to say outrageously was Palestine. This is what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, good call.
This is actually
That is outrageous.
This is actually what I wanted to talk about today. So, and this only came up when I was driving here. I was thinking about it. It seems to be, at least in the States. So I remember earlier this year, I think the United States for the first time publicly acknowledged Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So there was outrage from Palestine, obviously. Bit of background. So this is my understanding, and Josh, step in here if you have anything to add, of course. Joel, you too, but I dare say you don't have heaps to say on the
We're
matter.
recording? What? No.
Yeah. No, so my understanding of it is Palestinians have Palestine. Now, culturally, it's actually weird of me to be so supportive of Palestine in this case, because I'm pretty sure they screwed over the Turks at one point. But anyway.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, Palestinians have Palestine. World War II happens. The Jewish people need somewhere to go. The Allies draw a line on the map because a book from 2,000 years ago said they had this land, and they have now decided this is what they want and this is where they're claiming it back. And now you have the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, and it's, I don't know why it's like, it seems like a naughty word. It's almost like a swear word, or that same sort of stigma when you're like, yeah, I'm supportive of Palestine, like if you're not supporting Israel. And I'm just like, no, this is fucked. Like, they're a barbaric military. So that was my 2 cents on it. I just thought I'd get that off my chest because it was on the radio coming here, and they were saying, oh, yeah, no, let's not go down that rabbit hole. And I was like, surely we're allowed to publicly say out loud we're supportive of one side or the other.
I think it just comes down to the fact that none of it should be happening to begin with. As a people, like, we shouldn't be at the stage where that sort of conflict is still going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But having said that, you know, I think the idea of avoiding the issue altogether, that had just come from, you know, people not wanting to get political about that sort of thing, not wanting to.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that rule of thumb. You know, meeting new people or whatever, you don't talk about politics, religion, or, you know, anything like that.
The only thing I'm sort of with for it now, the Jerusalem thing, now that I'm sitting here and really giving it some thought, is let's say we give all that land back to Palestine, who, you know, rightfully have it, or had it. Where do you put everyone? Where do you now put all the Israelis?
Well,
so it's sort of fair that now, like, it sucks, but it's sort of fair that now they stay. It's like the indigenous people were here first, and maybe this land has been, it's probably unfair to use the word maybe even, this land was sort of unfairly taken from them, but now if everyone went, look, the right decision would be pack up and go home, well, what would happen? Where do we go? Not back to the UK, I tell you that much.
Yeah, well,
fucking cold.
Definitely not. Just you said Israelis. Is there a reason, or like maybe it still is common practice, but is there a reason we don't call them Israelites anymore?
Did we call them Israelites?
Well, is that not where that term comes from? Like an Israeli person, would that be an Israelite?
There's a term.
I've never heard that
like
before.
it's a biblical term, but like isn't Israelite just someone
you'd be
from
more
Israel?
educated. Black Hebrew Israelites also called Black Hebrew, African Hebrew Israelites, are a group of black Americans who believe they are the descendants of the ancient Israelites. Oh, okay. So I thought Israel. So based on this, and I've sort of made the connection in my head, is with. So it says the Israelites were a confederation of Iron Age Semitic-speaking tribes of the ancient Near East who inhabited a part of Canaan during the tribal and monarch periods. So, were the Jewish people that were in Africa Israelites? As in North Africa? Northeastern Africa? The Jewish/Hebrew, same thing.
Yes, I think so. Yes. That sounds
I don't know
right.
if we don't call them Israelites potentially because it may have been Jewish people from all over Europe that went there. And this is literally just talking out of my ass here. Like, I have no foundation for this, but that in my head makes sense that Jewish people all over Europe, I believe, were a number of them moved into Israel, and that's why we wouldn't call them all Israelites, because they're not all the Jewish people from
that
far
makes sense.
northeast Africa.
If people are listening and they know the answers to these questions, please, let us know.
Or if you can be fucked to Google.
Yeah, well, that too.
Josh, another topic, mate?
See what you've got on the list. I've got one, but it's see what you've got. We can jump back.
Look,
to
I just had a little story, and this is like a super little story. This might take up a minute. Joel and I were at. This could lead on to further conversation. So Joel and I were, like, after all good gym sessions, we went to Macca's, and we're sitting there getting some nugs, and sitting there eating, and these two cops run in. I thought, oh, pretty keen to get a Big Mac. Anyway, they run in, and the bloke runs out the back. So there's a male and female cop. The bloke runs out the back, and then
into the service area of the McDonald's.
No, runs out the back of the door. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And then the female cop comes up and asks, one of the workers, "Hey, did you see?" Public service announcement. If you see about a 16-year-old girl in a red hoodie running around Canberra causing havoc, call the police. So anyway, she's like, "Have you seen this girl in a red hoodie?" And they're like, "Nah, sorry, I haven't, but I've been out the back. Ask these people." So she's waiting. The person taking the orders at McDonald's continues taking their order at McDonald's, as doesn't tend to like the sort of urgent situation that the police are in. And I'm sitting there, and Joel and I sit there going, "What?" And I went, "Look, I don't know. I don't think they heard me. I mustn't have said it loud enough, but the police officer heard me."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you guys serious? Like, are we not tending to this situation first?"
And it was like one of the crew trainers teaching one of the girls how to do the tills.
Oh,
It was taking
no.
absolutely forever. Oh. And then at one stage, like, "Yeah, we've been here for 10 minutes, so you might as well ask us." And she's like, "Oh, you might be able to help me then." Walks over to us. "Have you seen a girl in a red hoodie?"
Actually, I would just like to quote this police officer, who seemed lovely. She was like, "Fuck it, I'll just ask you guys." And then said, and this is the bit that really got me.
Yeah.
"The little bitch made me run." But the thing was, she wasn't fat or anything. Like, she seemed fairly athletic.
Actually, one of the most attractive women I've ever seen. Not just police officers. She was hot.
Yeah, okay.
She was an attractive copper dog. I tell you that. That's an
But
attractive
until she went, "Little bitch made me run." And I was like, "Fuck."
Oh, fuck.
A little bit of red in the eyes came out. You're like,
I was expecting to walk into the car park and just see her kicking into some little...
The grumpy old police officer that ran through first, he looked like a right cunt.
Oh,
he would have
just
been an arsehole.
beads of sweat dripping down his bald head.
You would have taken a step to go across the street and then pulled back because you saw a car coming, and he would have done you for jaywalking. This guy was a dog.
So had you guys seen her? Like,
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So just casual bystanders, like having a laugh at it all.
Harper, what have you got, mate?
All right. Bit of a self-reflection question. What's a simple task that you're especially or surprisingly bad at?
Spelling the word unnecessarily.
necessary at all or successful. I struggled with for a while.
License for a little bit there, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Oh, so spelling in general.
Yeah, spelling.
My name, task.
Thank God, autocorrect.
Task that I'm bad at.
I'm sure there's a few.
Most things that require coordination, I guess.
I'm surprisingly bad at kicking.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
kicking a
You
ball.
are fucking awful at kicking your
Awful
footy.
at
Absolutely
kicking a
dreadful.
Jumping. Really bad at jumping. Like, I jump more off my toes than normal people. Like, I don't use my knees enough, apparently.
Yeah, okay. So like, yeah, you pick your feet up before you actually jump, whereas you meant to, like you meant to jump through your heels.
Yeah.
Yep.
You do. I've realised that actually a lot. Anytime we're at Pine Island or anything, jumping in water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, is there anything that I'm bad at that you guys have picked up on? Because I'm stumped. Not saying that I'm perfect, but I know there's a few and they've just all left my mind.
It's hard to think of. It is.
Oh, you both had smiles on your faces. I thought you were about to bombard me.
I don't know. What about you, Josh? You got anything besides kicking?
No, that's all I had written down.
Anything guys, this is one of those things where we'd really like you to write into us. If there's anything you are particularly bad at, please
Or even
let
just
us
like
know.
people expect you to be good at it, and it just turns out that you're trash.
Here's the thing. I'm picturing my parents right now. They'd have a fucking list of them. Like, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know I get called out for shit I'm bad at all the time, and they just...
I can't iron. I can't
Don't
iron
you?
shirts. I can do pants, but I cannot do shirts.
Shirts are tricky, mate.
Are they?
Yeah, they're not easy.
Like,
Just put it down and fucking go for it.
I'm talking
I can-
like a button up.
I'll
Long
just go
sleeve
over the buttons
business
and
shirt.
fucking everything. Yeah. And then like uncrinkle it where it's folded. Fucking keep going. Until
Joel
it's
is
all-
particularly bad at ironing a
Yeah.
shirt as well. He's bad.
Cooking, I guess. I'm pretty bad at cooking.
See, I can cook.
Yeah, I can cook.
Probably adulting in general. You could probably pick up on that from the last episode where we explained how Aiden had to get me out of a situation with my parents.
Yeah. Actually, just staying in, just informing people.
Oh, informing people. Yeah, that's bad. I don't know if I'm bad at remembering things. If it's work related, I remember them.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily bad. Like, I wouldn't say I'm bad at this, but I absolutely hate phone calls.
I'm really bad at looking for stuff, in the sense that, like, you know, like I'm not.
Someone will
I
tell you
don't-
to look for something. You'll like walk into the cupboard and be like, yeah, it's not there. Sorry.
Well, I don't think I am, but apparently I'm not ideal at it. I have a kid look, not a mum look. You know, like you know how mums find shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mum, but why would it be under there? I don't know. Probably fucking put it there, Andrea.
Yeah.
Pretty bad at walking, I guess. Roll my ankles a fair bit.
Much like a chimpanzee, I'm bad for putting something in a safe spot and
In
then
between
forgetting
your
the safe spot.
I thought you meant in between your toes. Was it you who likes doing things with your toes?
Yeah.
That was Harper who did that for like 3
No.
months straight or something. Got
No,
good at it.
it's me. I do this
Oh.
all the time, and I just play with my toes.
What were you thinking that I did?
Didn't you say you spent 3 months like opening drawers and fridges with your toes and like grabbing forks out of the drawer?
No, I don't.
No, this is
I
like.
mean,
in
like
year 10.
I
This
do
is-
open drawers and cupboards and things with my feet.
Yeah.
That's just. I mean, you've got four extremities. Why not use them? But
I pick up stuff with my feet a lot too. I feel.
if it's on the ground, I'll pick it up with my feet for sure. But I'm not going to like reach with my foot around into the top drawer that's like at my waist height and try and grab a fork and eat with it.
particularly bad at closing my new fridge door.
That's a
You
weird
have to
thing
push
do
it
there.
shut
That's weird.
That's
because
good.
it'll
Gross.
go to close and then it'll just sit on this like puffy part of it.
I'm bad at remembering people's names.
I'm fucking
People
awful at that,
people will tell me their name, and 30 seconds later, I've got no idea what their name was.
I'll be honest, this has been a real sobering moment of self-reflection. This is a bit upsetting.
I'm all
Sorry,
for
guys.
birthdays.
Yeah,
I can
I'm
You
not
guys
good at
haven't
dates.
fucking
I can do birthdays.
picked up. There'd be a good story to tell on this. Keep it anonymous. That would be hilarious for everyone who doesn't know.
The Squirtle thing.
Yeah. Wait.
Well, we'll keep it anonymous, but you tell the story.
Coming on the cheek, and then her going out to see her mother.
So we have a friend
Oh no!
who shall remain nameless. And no, she hasn't been mentioned on this podcast before. So if that helps with her anonymity.
I can hear all this. I don't know if you can.
What,
Yeah, I
me
can.
rubbing my feet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck, sorry.
It's only when you touch this, though.
Heard that too. Sorry, I thought it couldn't be heard.
Quite autistic, actually.
All right, so we have a friend, and yes, to help her anonymity, we don't know if she'll be mentioned on the podcast in the future, but she has not been mentioned to date. She has a boyfriend. Fuck, I hope she does not get too mad at us say this, because
We'll tell her and we can edit it if she
yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Joel, do you want to tell the story?
Hang on, ASMR moment.
Oh, God, it sounds so good. I've got to make that 3-hour loop of that.
Especially into the tin.
Actually, I listened to that today. It was actually really good. Like, I was actually feeling relaxed. ASMR.
It's all going over me.
This is quite possibly the worst pour I've ever seen in my life.
And Josh works at a bar. Just to make that.
I have wet myself. All right, back into the tin now. Wow.
That was
something.
unreal. But look,
That was really something.
okay, so
Not worth it.
we enjoyed that. But guys, if you're not a fan of our ASMR, do let us know. We have a friend. She has a boyfriend. Lovely couple. They were telling us how they had sex. The male has ejaculated onto her face, and a portion of this ejaculate has landed on her neck. Now, they were at her her parents' house at the time. Her mum's house at the time. And when she went out to see her mum afterwards, some of the ejaculate was still on her neck. And her mum asked, "What's that on your neck?" And what was her response? I can't remember.
Was that like toothpaste or I just did a facial or something? I think
It was soap, but eventually
Oh,
she...
soap. She said soap.
Yeah, like that was a reasonable answer.
Soap. Oh. And then the next morning, boyfriend was not there. Mum was cum on my face. I thought so. Oh.
Yeah, but they high-fived over it. Like, she was like, nice. They're real close.
Yeah, it's weird.
But apparently some mums and daughters are like that.
Yeah, I kind of envy it.
Yeah, it's almost weird, like, for me to see families like that. Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Do you see this fucking water pouch I've got on me?
Joel looks like
Fucking
he's
some
pissed
water.
himself after that ASMR. He spilt the water everywhere.
It's actually just a big wet, big wet dream that I had.
Harper, have you got a topic? Because I've got a quick one to talk about.
Yeah, go with that.
Is Tourette's even a thing? Okay, so another outrageous topic, but hear me out. So there's this show. I think it's on Win, and it's in a year. In a year, and it's these inspirational stories of these people who are going through hardships in whatever form, usually through some sort of disability or
Is that
illness
like
or
this
whatever.
time next year?
Yeah,
Is
this
that-
time next year.
Yep.
And I watched the ad for it. And by this time next year, I will walk again. Or by this time next year, inspiring stuff. And you wish these people all the best. But there's this one woman on there who's said, by this time next year, I will overcome my Tourette's. Which I don't even know if you can do.
Yeah,
but
that
anyway, she's
seems
got the
odd.
twitch and the and like the twitch. But then she like double flips the bird at the crowd and goes, "Fuck you" to all of them. And this is the thing that's always fascinated
The crowd
me.
just sits there going, oh, bless.
But I was sitting there, I was sitting there and I'm laughing, and I go to sit down, I don't even know if I fully believe in Tourette's. And he goes, I get that. Like, how is it? I swear they only swear, though. It's only swear words when you view Tourette's clips. Like, you only see them go and spontaneously drop the word cunt or tell someone, fuck you. Like, they're never just elephants, you know what I mean? Like, there's never weird words. It's always dropping swear words and flipping people off. Double flipping the bird and saying "fuck you." That is not a twitch. That is.
It is the show
that is
running out of people.
that is a conscious decision. Like, it's an awful, awful thing to say because I'm sure there's a medical condition, but I find it very difficult. And here's the thing: I've had a mate with a twitch. I can understand the twitch thing, but the swearing and the like actions that are so they appear so deliberate. I find it hard to comprehend.
I'll definitely agree with you on that one. Like I've seen a few people with Tourette's in public, and
Have you? I've never seen it that bad.
Oh no, I've seen some really bad.
We used to play the game Tourette's at school, but that was just in class to like yell at fuck like in the middle of class, and then telling the teacher who's already known you for 6 months that you have Tourette's and trying to get away with it. Didn't work, FYI. The kids try it.
No, like you see some people, and they just blow up all of a sudden, and then the next second they're fine. Like they're not swearing, they're happy. They're like, oh, sorry about that. And it's almost hard to believe that they could have a mental illness that just activates that like negative part of the brain. Like they know that it's a bad word or that it's something they shouldn't do, and you see it in kids all the time as well. And something just clicks and they're off. But no,
we might get money to do this.
It's like they've been put up to it.
You want to be on telly?
You know what it's like, Tourette's? It's like they're a Big Brother character.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Like they should really put people with Tourette's on Big Brother.
Just get a bunch of people in the same room.
Fuck, like that contract didn't say making fun of legitimate medical conditions. It's not. It's fake.
I think I showed a lot of empathy early on, so that means I can talk bulk shit about it now.
Yeah. We acknowledge that it's a sad thing that happens and it's a real thing.
If you know someone with Tourette's,
let us know. We'll get them on the show.
Get them to listen. Get them to tell us what they think and tell us about their experience because we want to know.
Not only that, I think like if it were in that scenario, we'd be quite empathetic and I think talk to them. But I also don't think I could have someone here and talk to them for a prolonged period of time that couldn't also see the funny side of what they've got going on. Like it's like any disability. A lot of people, not everyone, and I understand that, but a lot of people are able to see the funny side or the lighter side of it, like that show. What is it?
Taboo.
Taboo, yeah.
It's really not too different from how I live my life now.
Really, I agree with that. For all of us, anything bad that happens, we just stand there. Fuck.
Yeah.
You just sort of see the funny.
Definitely in recent times, whenever anything bad has happened, I've sort of just taken a step back. Hands on my hips and bugger.
Something doesn't work for me. I drop like a little nut at work. I'm like, you fucking dog slut.
Oh. But you didn't pay for that nut, so you're fine.
Yeah. Or if I'm in a good mood, I'm like, oh, you fucking dog. So.
And then you drop it 3 more times.
Yeah. I just fucking like peg it and go and get a new one.
You broke that joint.
Yeah, that big.
No, that was like at the start of last year. We're gluing in. So for some reason, on this job, there was a group of plumbers. They got them to start in the basement running this stormwater, 375mm PVC, and you have to order the junctions in because they don't just fucking mass produce them. And they're like $500, $600 each.
Is it not like a standard size though?
No, it's fucking...
Stormwater, that stormwater doesn't.
Yeah, it'd be relative to each.
It's relative to every. Yeah. Right.
So these plumbers have started in one corner of the building. They've pissed off to another job and they've gotten these other plumbers in and they've started from the other corner of the basement. So now we have fixed points with incredibly big pipe. So what we've done is we've taken off all the clips for at least 10 metres. So this pipe is suspended 3 metres up in the air hanging from the ceiling. Then the rest of it is bending and touching the ground. So it's flexing. And we've got like 3 scissor lifts down there, like 8 blokes trying to bend it and pull it and push it and glue into the socket, and I'm on top of the scissor and it's in, and it's because it's caught inside the socket, it hasn't pushed in halfway. And they're like, fucking hit it. Oh, I'm hitting it. And like, get the fucking sledgehammer and hit the bit of timber on top to fucking push it in. I was like, yeah, no worries, I'm doing it. And I'm about 300 mil away from the ceiling, so I'm holding this sledgehammer. I'm like, and I just can't get enough power, so I'm like, fuck it. And I'm like, yeah, just hit it with the timber. I'm fucking whacking this pipe with the timber. And it finally goes in, and I'm like, yeah. And I look at it, I'm like, Nah, it's cracked. It just got a big fucking crack in the side of it.
Were they filthy?
They were. I'm like, they're like, oh, fuck off, Joel.
Actually,
And still to this day, it's not my fault. I did what I was told to do.
I remember this happening.
God.
I remember you telling us this story
Yeah,
very
that's a good
clearly,
story.
and all of us going, "What do they expect you to do?"
Yeah, well, it was on the same job site as the cat. Well, as the cat.
Oh. Yeah, cats. Oh no.
Plural. There are 2 cats in the story.
So I was going to say, as I told you boys earlier, I had a really good day at Tech today.
Yeah.
Starting to learn gas, and it's pretty interesting. And they had this dude at CIT Fishwick, which I was very surprised about. His name's Ed. He's old as fuck. And he's at the back of like the fucking smash repairs building where people learn how to be mechanics or fucking panel beaters, whatever they do over there. Learn how to fucking sign things in crayon.
They do.
And he's at the back there, and he's got this shed, and it's fenced up. And his job, he was hired by Evo Energy to see if our gas, like, pipe network can sustain using hydrogen instead of natural gas. Instead of natural gas. So trying to find out if our infrastructure can handle an alternative to fucking fossil fuels. And so what he's done there, he's got this fucking thing here, an electrofusion machine that's got, you hook up your positive and negative. It's got 2 like steel plates inside, and you pour water down into it, and it charges the water, and it separates the oxygen and the hydrogen. The hydrogen goes out and fills up into a tank, like a big gas cylinder, and he's got a little gas setup buried in the ground, and he's testing it for leaks, and he's got a little barbecue that is running off hydrogen gas. And he's telling us, I thought this was extremely interesting. If you had a fire indoors that was like the fuel in it was hydrogen, there'd be no soot like on the roof or anything. You know how you normally get like the fucking emissions and stuff, but instead of like black smoke or whatever you'd get, it'd condensate on the ceiling. It'd turn back to water.
Yeah, wow.
And it'd start like dripping.
Yeah.
Like I thought, fuck, that'd be sick. How cool would that be to have a fire and then just fucking all of
like
a sudden,
light mist or like raindrop sort of thing.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
and it burns the same, and like obviously
Just real clean.
Yeah.
Hang on, though. Wouldn't it be when you burn oxygen, you would get the hydrogen? Oh, sorry.
No, it's just using hydrogen as like your fuel.
It's
Fire will need oxygen anyway.
Yeah, so the hydrogen is the fuel.
You know how
And
you've
then
got
you just
your
need your
triangle.
igniter and oxygen.
You've got your triangle. Heat comes from heat. Oxygen will come from the atmosphere anyway.
Yeah,
and
okay,
hydrogen
so
is your fuel as opposed to your solid, your timber, your
And it
paper,
won't
your whatever.
bond back to water as soon as it goes to light. But once it's like in the air,
Once it's been
then it
heated and
does.
vaporized and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, once it's vaporized. And
Fuck, that's cool.
and he gets paid like just under $2 million a year to do sciencey stuff.
Yeah.
Fucking interesting,
Just
dude.
under 2 mil, that's pretty good.
Yeah, fucking unbelievable. I can't remember what else he said, but it's pretty cool. He said, "Yeah, we have a barbecue over there that I run off hydrogen as well." I'm like, "Fuck, what are we doing talking, mate? Cook up some snacks."
Where are we going?
Oh, yeah, and another thing. So, you know how you might be talking to a girl for a while, or you're friends with a girl, and they're like, "Fuck yeah," like
Don't know what you're talking about.
comes up, yeah, sorry, the female. So, what is the technical name for women? You know how some girls, I've never heard a guy say it, but like, "Oh, that fucks up my OCD or like ADHD or something."
Yeah, OCD just seems to be... Fuck, this is just based purely observational, but
Yeah.
it seems to be more prone in women, and I put it down to just men not giving a fuck. Like, I know my girlfriend's got it a little bit. I think almost all women have it a little bit.
Well,
My
you say
cousin
that-
has it a little bit.
That's
Family
just how
friend
the
has it a
female
little
brain works slightly differently to the male brain.
I was going to say it's kind of like autism. We're all on the spectrum
Yeah, everyone's
somewhere.
on the spectrum.
Yeah, and anyway,
Particularly prone in this room.
yeah.
Just a smidge.
Meeting my guest teacher, he's like, "Yeah, I have ADHD. I tend to go off on tangents." And I'm like, "Yeah, no worries, didn't think much of it, but this cunt might actually have ADHD. He's fucking wild. This cunt never shuts up. And at one point, we're talking about gas, and then he's trying to, like, convert us all into greenies, and we're on YouTube watching, like, fracking things of how it damages the ozone layer. We're watching movie trailers for the frack man. Fuck, it was hilarious. It was amazing. What else did he do? Not much working went on today, honestly. It was beautiful.
It's good.
Yeah. In a nice cold/heated classroom.
It's good stuff like that, but because those sort of days are the ones you take. I find anyway, I take the most away from them.
Yeah.
But I remember what happens in the days where we just sat and we spoke. You learn more that way. Well,
yeah, because
at least
you're
I do.
engaging in it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and you're thinking, as opposed to people are just telling you this is the fact. Remember it.
He also showed us a bunch of videos of people dying. A bunch. And he's like, fuck, this is a good one. Oh, actually, not a good one, sorry. 3 people died. But like after each video, he showed us one, and they got a big gas leak somewhere in this Indian restaurant. And they're walking around inside it. Must be talking, and then this dude points a flashlight to the light switch. He's like, yeah, just go turn it on. Turns to slow-mo and just turns on. Like, you just see where it starts to ignite, and it just fucking blows up this whole house. They were brilliant.
That's how you remember things best. Tragedy.
Or the dude, I think it was in Melbourne, who was moving houses, and he's transporting all these barbecue bottles. This was early this year. He's driving along the road, and his fucking like U-Haul rented truck just fucking blows up.
Jeez.
Died instantly, but if you looked at it from like a bird's eye point of view, from like a helicopter or something, it just looks like a big bird shat everywhere, because all this white truck is just everywhere. It was crazy.
I've just had a thought with what I said about like tragedy being the way to remember things. Do you reckon you can remember certain facts by, receiving an injury around that fact? So
three times 3 is 9, and then stab someone.
Well, no, like stab yourself, like
Yeah, if I cut my wrist and said, I've got an appointment on Monday.
yeah, and like this is because of that appointment. Yeah, like you're gonna remember exactly what's going
100%.
on.
Imagine how smart the depressed could be.
Or
Just about all 15-year-olds could be.
Yeah.
Imagine how
Yeah, imagine just cutting yourself once in like a certain spot, in a certain shape, and going, rent's due. Or fucking like, fuck, gotta pay Rajo.
Nah, but that's the
password
thing.
is.
I don't reckon it would work though, because if you do it so frequently,
Not
it
frequently,
doesn't become.
Yeah,
It doesn't become noteworthy
it'd have
anymore.
to be a different.
I
type of
reckon
injury
you
every
need
year.
to. I reckon you need to study for a test and then watch someone get hit by a car. Like I reckon it needs to be big and bold, like crazy shit.
Mass
Like
suicide.
What? No. What if
that was another thing we weren't allowed to encourage in those
Really?
guidelines. Oh, not mass suicide, but it was. Hold on, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna.
You know the worst part about me saying all this is? Like, people might be listening, but like, oh, yeah, this is a recurring thing on the podcast, but this started way before the podcast.
Oh well.
And I just
before the
can't
podcast.
wait for, like, a mass suicide is going to happen near us, and I'm going to get pinned for it. I'm like, nah, I don't have the chops to pull that off, mate.
Either
and I'll
that or
try
you're
and
just
walk
gonna-
away, and I'll be put in cuffs.
You're gonna miss out on it. That'll be the big tragedy.
Yeah, actually.
Within the guidelines, no racial, ethnic slurs, content that advocates the doing of a terrorist act, content instructing or promoting crime or violence.
It's not crime or violence. It's not against the law.
Could be violent, not necessarily crime.
We're not saying to do it, so it's not instructing. We're just saying, imagine if. Can't get pinned for imagine if. Good luck.
Well, hopefully not. Anyway, going to clear my throat real quick.
Speaking of which, what does your uvula do?
Sorry for everyone. The dangly thing at the back of your throat.
Yeah, it's-
Probably. I'm just assuming it's a
What
uvula.
they call it, it's the doorbell into the soul.
Uvula
You're just a bad.
function.
Is it the right word?
Function. During swallowing, the soft palate and the uvula move together to close off. Yeah, okay.
The
It's
nasal?
just, yeah. So you don't breathe in your food.
Yeah. All right.
But
Surely
no, that's good
not,
being
but-
able to
No,
smell
that-
it as it's going down your throat.
It does make sense because you can, if you open your mouth and look in the mirror and try and breathe through your mouth and your nose, or swallow and that sort of thing, you can see.
I can
I've done
feel
it
it.
before. Yeah, you can see and feel the movement in it.
New topic.
Why does it have to be dangly though?
What do you
Where
mean?
did evolution think that?
Oh,
Why has there got to be an excess bit of skin there? Why can't it just close off?
that would require a muscle in there as opposed to something that just dangles. Is it a muscle?
No, there has to be muscles around it that move it.
Is it? It has to be muscle. It is muscle.
Squeeze it, fight back.
How can I make it stronger?
It, like
This fucking this thing the size of your fist coming out your throat.
pretty much, if it's not bone and it's not liquid and it's not fatty tissue and it's not skin.
Given where it is, I'd say it has to be muscle. Anything as part of your your tract.
Orifice.
Yeah. What's the word? Your
Favorite orifice.
tract. Something tract.
Mandible. So I'm just saying hole and mouth words. So
Do you guys hear about Facebook?
I mean, I have heard of it.
got
but
zucked.
They got zucked bad.
What do you mean?
Do you know how much they got fined?
How much do they get fined?
$5 billion US.
For what?
I think it was mishandling of personal information.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got that much. Oh, I learned about another thing.
Facebook will reportedly be fined a record $5 billion over privacy mishaps.
Wow.
What?
He said, "Wow."
I said wow, but then I was yawning, so I tried to stifle
Wow.
it.
It was weird because it was silence.
Another thing we watched today in tech was DEF CON. Not the fucking...
How ADHD
music
was this?
festival.
Well, what, just people
to
dying
DEF
at DEF
CON
CON?
one.
No, it's fucking... it's a hackers convention. This thing called DEF CON, and it's the world's largest hackers convention. And this guy went there and he documented it. And he asked this person to hack him. And this one lady put on baby crying on YouTube, like a video, the audio of it, and just called up pretending to be his missus and got into his emails and changed all his passwords to everything in
Far out.
10 minutes from his phone company. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then this other guy, what did he do? He sent a fake email to him from an account that he found out that he had a blog or something. And the website he has this blog on, he made a fake email account saying,
He spearfished him.
verified your email,
Yeah.
click the link, did it, let him access everything into his computer, and he now has all his bank details and
So
passwords to everything else. And he said, if I could right now, I'd ruin your life. I own you online. The only thing I couldn't do is use your fingerprint, and that's it.
yeah, if literally that's the only thing that biometrics, right? So that's sort of one of the ways they really look at two-factor authentication now. So two-factor authentication being two of either something you know, something you have, or something you are. And it's something you know is your password, and then something you are is let's say thumbprint or face map, and then something you have could be a secondary thing like an SMS letting you know that hey, this is your PIN, so you can now log in.
It's almost scary to think just how vulnerable everyone is.
So it's not almost scary to think how naive everyone is.
That's even worse.
It's ridiculous. I won't go too much into it. Maybe we'll have a chat about this on another podcast another day, and I could go really in depth. But
It's this sort of thing. People see my signature, and it's pretty much just a scribble, like a lot of people's are, and they're like, oh, that's so easy. Someone could just scribble and forge that, and I'm like, all right, cool. Why do I care? If there's people out there who can pretty much access my entire life without me even knowing, and pretty well erase me and everything I have, why would I care about a squiggle on a page that really gets you nothing?
it takes a $50 little chip on on eBay, and a free application online, and you can get Wi-Fi passwords. It's here's the scary thing that I find about cybersecurity, and this is just my personal opinion and how I view it. Not that I have heaps of authority on the topic, it's just a side interest of mine. I'm worried that there isn't enough education about cybersecurity, or just personal information security online, and it's going to take an event to make it click, in the way that people weren't that concerned about airport security, and then something catastrophic had to happen, like 9/11, and now we have big airport security. My concern with it all is that there isn't enough education out there already, and then that is going to be the problem. And like, I'm not the only person that has this concern. Like, I didn't just magically come to this conclusion on my own, but it's something I've thought about in depth, and it's, I think, an unfortunate truth. I think people just don't care enough.
People don't care enough, and there's not enough facilities to provide enough information for people to care enough. And even if there was, that much information out there, if there's that much public information as to how to protect it, then there's twice as much non-public information as to how to beat that protection.
Yeah.
All the time.
I remember years ago, like years and years and years ago, I had a family member who worked for... I have a family member who used to work for just police in New Zealand. And we were just having a chat. I was probably like 11 or 12. And I remember him saying one of the big struggles with IT crime is the fact that if there's a new bit of tech, the criminals have hands on it. If the government or an authority wants to be able to use that technology, they have to go through like this authority, that authority, get this signed off, that signed off,
check
and
it by all the standards, make sure it fits, make sure it passes legislation. There's way too much red tape around it.
And 6 months later, when they do, something new's already come out, and the criminals don't have to, they don't take a day off. They
Law
don't care.
enforcement doesn't have the capacity to match it.
Yeah.
At the same rate it's developing. Whereas anyone who decides they want to be a pirate can straight away.
There's some big stuff that Microsoft is sort of doing as of late that's really changing cybersecurity and really probably going to help a lot of smaller organisations, I think. Let's go on to a lighter topic, if at all. Fuck, we've got a bit of podcast in this. This has been unreal, actually. I've been really happy with today.
That sub was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
A fucking lot of cheese, though.
I think that's why I enjoyed it so much.
I
liked chewing
couldn't
through it.
physically order that much cheese, but because they put that much on, I was like, yeah, fuck, I'll do it.
I was fucking filthy. That little bitch put way too much sauce on. I was like, just a little bit of sauce on. Drowned the cunt.
This thing was
taste all
slopping
cheese.
off the end of the sandwich.
What sauce did you get?
Bad.
Oh, because I got the pizza sub and I was like, I'll just get a little
way
bit
too much pizza sauce.
Yeah, I was like, hey, can I just get a little bit more pizza sauce? That's all I wanted, like a little dribble. Nah. Might as well have dipped it.
Just a little bit of pizza sauce, please. Just
guys, this has been episode 9. Are we calling it?
Yeah,
because I'd like to maybe record a PCast or something after this and have a bit of a go on a Hate or Raid and try and get some more content out, because I'm feeling quite actually awake and quite good.
I like it.
We got some pretty big stuff that we'll let you know next week. What's going on?
Yeah, if all goes well.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna be
trying. We'll be back anyway.
We're really gonna be trying. Yeah, we'll be back anyway, but we're just gonna be trying some new things, even some visuals.
Hopefully we'll get another guest on soon enough, just to mix things up a little, keep it interesting.
Have to get another guest on, guys. Thank you for listening. That's been episode 9, Way Off Central. Comment on our fucking shit.
Oh, sick, episode 9. We'll catch us next week.
Thanks for listening, guys. Way Off Central.
That was a Titancast episode.